Well, hello and how are you? Hey, friends, welcome to the Shen Show. I don't know what's going on with my camera here today. It's uh, not showing me. I'm not seeing it. Why don't I have features to access to my camera? Now, do I have access to it? What's going on? This ain't right, folks. All right, come on. Wake up. Where is my camera? And why can I not? Why? Start notepad. Why can I not use my webcam? I use it every day. Cut line. Paste that. Well, go to sleep. Well, all right, fans. Anyway, I'm doing this blind. I'm hoping you're seeing me. I'm certainly not seeing myself. So, don't know what's going on. But we're going to go ahead and do a weather. Oh, I need to go back before I do my weather. We'll do some Shen Show fan shout outs. That's what we're going to do first. Today, Wednesday, May the 15th, 2024. We got a happy birthday shout outs going out to Jojoe Watson, jovial Reyes, and Janice Williams. And so, without further ado, hey Janice, hey Jovial, hey Jojo, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. Why, that's another year gone away. I hope you're enjoying your special day because, well, it's your happy birthday day today. Day today. It's your happy birthday day today. I said, hey Jojo, hey Jovial, hey Janice, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. Wow, that's another trip around the sun that you made. I hope you're enjoying your special day because, well, it's your happy birthday day today. Day today. It's your happy birthday day today. All right, that and let's go in for the Shen Show fans. Those are the folks that love, like, just, and or care about the Shen Show. And some of them sharers. So we'll start out with the fans. Straight fans, Kimberly Dodd Little, Rico Murphy, Lori Moore, a.k.a. Lori Taylor, a.k.a. Thumper, Diana Gray, Ken and Becky Tackett, Martin Kelly, a.k.a. Smiley, Cindy Welch, Ann Williams Briscoe, a.k.a. My Mommy, Gary R. Webb, Larry Brown, Mary Thornhill Everingham. And then I've got the Shen Show sharer. That's the one that steps up above and beyond. Doug Bell, a.k.a. Steve Clary. Then there's my Pokey pals. We got three of them out there. Three special return pokes for Amanda Sue Little, Jackie Bales, and Diana Jannings, or Dana Jannings. Sorry about that, Dana. Alrighty then. Well, all right. And then there's did I get his name in there? Yeah, Larry Brown. Right. Okay. That being said, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Uh, we're gonna see if we can't fix it though, real quick. Uh, uh, Well, I'm not finding it, and it's kind of making me mad. Oh, maybe it's over here. I don't know what that is. All right, well, that ain't it. I'm looking and I'm trying to do so with me. Da-da-da-da, da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. I'm looking the whole world through, and I'm looking to be with you. Well, I'm not finding my webcam here, so I have to do it this way. Yeah. All right. Where's Cameron? Go there. Do 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 do. Beats all you never saw. Been in trouble with all since the day they were born. All right. Well, we're not finding anything, folks. Sorry about that. Camera issues today. It's called the life frame. Okay. Life frame. We'll find it. We're going to find it. Jules. Media. Sorry, it's got me now. I'm in one of those moods. I'm looking for searching, love searching, searching, love searching, love searching, I'm searching, Oh, come on. Not seeing it. It's driving me nuts. I'm on a vendetta. I'm looking for the key. Nope. It would be under there. Devices and printer. Aussie. What about it? We're going this route. All right. We're going to go with that. We'll see if I come back and have any pictures. Nope. Still nothing. All right. Well, we're going to do our weather forecast for today anyway. And just find out what's going on. 77 degrees out there right now. Well, very mild winds. Less than 5 miles an hour. And kind of a little overcast, but not too shabby. Still got some river flood warnings. All right. Partly cloudy skies this evening will give way to occasional showers overnight. Low temperatures will be around 60 degrees Fahrenheit with winds light variable. Chances of rain 40%. And then for Thursday, May the 16th, showers early and then scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day. High temperatures near 73 degrees Fahrenheit with winds south to southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain 60%. Cloudy skies during the evening and then a few showers developing later on at night. Thunder is possible. Low temperatures of 61 degrees Fahrenheit with winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Again, 40% chance of rain. Friday, May the 17th, considerable cloudiness with occasional rain showers. Thunderstorms are possible. High temperatures of 77 degrees Fahrenheit with winds south to southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chances of rain 40%. Partly cloudy skies overnight. Low temperatures around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be light and variable southeast at about 5 miles per hour. And then for Saturday, May the 18th, intervals of clouds and sunshine. Slight chance of rain showers with high temperatures of 83 degrees Fahrenheit with winds west to southwest at about 5 miles per hour. Clear skies overnight. Low temperatures of 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds west to southwest at about 5 miles per hour. And then for Sunday, May the 19th, sunshine and some clouds. High temperatures near 87 degrees Fahrenheit, with winds west to northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies early, giving way to a few showers after midnight. Low temperatures of 67 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds from south to southeast at about 6 miles per hour. 50% chance of rain. Then for our fifth and final day of our 5-day forecast for the St. Charles viewing area, Monday, May the 20th. Scattered thunderstorms in the morning, partly cloudy skies later on at night. High temperatures of 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be south to southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain 40%. Partly cloudy overnight. Low temperatures of 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be south to southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that, my friends, is your 5-day forecast for the St. Charles viewing area. I know something popped up earlier that looked like a webcam, and it's probably what's got me, And I don't know why. What's going on? I tell you what I am going to do: refresh my Wi-Fi. See if that does anything for. All right, that didn't do anything either. All right, well, I still don't know what's going on, so I guess we're just going to carry on. More of a radio show anyway. You don't necessarily have to see my face to make it grand. I've got the radio on. I just turned the radio on and listed bastard's radio on. Song lyrics: Turn your radio on. Ray Stevens. Welcome on in, listening to the radio station where the mighty hosts of our heaven sing. Oh, turn your radio on. I turn your radio on. I turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. And if you want to feel those good vibrations, come on coming from the joy that His love can bring. I turn your radio on. I turn your radio on. I turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. Oh, yes, turn your radio on. And listen to the music in the air. Turn your radio on. Yes, turn your radio on. And to another glory share. I turn your radio on. I turn your radio on. I turn your lights down low. I turn your lights down low and listen to the masters of the radio. I get in touch with God. I get in touch with God. Turn your radio on. I turn your radio on. Now, don't you know that everybody has a radio receiver? All you got to do is listen for the call and turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. I turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. If you listening, you will be a believer leaning on the truth, and that will never fail. Oh, get in touch with God. I get in touch with God. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. Oh, turn your radio on and listen to the music in the air. Turn your radio on and the glory share. Turn your radio on. Well, turn your lights down low and listen to the masters of the radio. I turn your lights down low and listen to the masters of the radio. I get in touch with God. I get in touch with God. Turn your radio on. I turn your radio on. I turn your radio on. All right, there we go. Well, we ain't got nobody watching, but a blank screen's better than none. We'll just sing it upright and make it last all night. It's wonderful, wonderful show in the sun. All right, well, I tell you this much. I'm supposed to have an appointment with my insurance nurse, but I don't see that happening. They gave me a window today between 8 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. And, well, ain't nobody been here knocking on none of my doors. But if they show up, I'll have to jump off of here no matter where I'm at. So we're going to go ahead and do story time with TV Grandpa. TV Grandpa gonna tell you little stories. All right, all right. Time to make it right. All right, all right. Time to make it right. How about King George and the Dragon? Sir St. George and the Dragon is going to be our reading for today. And so here we go. Every kid should have a hero. And in 1905, we are going to talk about St. George and the Dragon. In the year 208, in the town of Cappadocia, was born the great soldier and champion of the oppressed, whom we call St. George. His parents were Christians, and by them, and especially by his mother, he was most carefully instructed and trained. And when the youth came to age of 17 years, he took up the profession of arms. And since he was gifted with beauty and personal intelligence and an exquisite courtesy, he rose rapidly to a considerable military rank. Especially, he pleased his imperial master, uh, Diocletian. Now, one day, while the emperor, who was devoted to the worship of Apollo, was consulting at a shrine of that god upon an affair of much importance, from the dark depths of the cavern came forth a voice saying, "The just is who are on the earth keep me from telling the truth, and by them the inspiration of the sacred tripod is made a lie." And at once the emperor was stricken with constant consternations and asked who these just people were. Master, answered one of the priests of the Apollo, "They are the Christians." And they answered so enraged. This answer so enraged Docalante that he rekindled his persecutions. Now, from the first, the young soldier George had burned with indignation because of the unspeakable cruelties put upon Christians, and he had spoken out boldly in defiance of his brethren. His friends had counseled concealed silence and prudence, but George would have none of it. He knew, however, that he might be called upon to suffer at any time, and he hoped, well, maybe it jumped too far. I don't know what's going on with it. Suffered at any time, and he hoped to do better work for the world and to die after grave effort. And he therefore distributed his money and his fine apparel among the poor and the needy, set free all the slaves he possessed, and went forth upon nightly travels. Now, while trekking one, uh, trekking one day through the plains of Libya, he came to a certain city called Sunan, Sunan, and the people of which were bewildered to a dire misfortune that had come upon them. An enormous dragon had issued uh, from a marsh nigh, nigh, neighboring, a neighboring marsh in a neighboring town, and had devoured all their flocks and herds. Already the monster had taken dwelling near the city walls, and at such distance that the people had been able to keep him only by granting him 2 sheep every day for his food and drink. Now, if they had failed in this, he would have come within their walls and poisoned every man, woman, and child with his plague like breath. But now, early in, already all the flocks and the herds had been eaten. Nothing remained to fill the insatiable maw of this dragon but the little people of the homes and hearths of all the town. Now, every day 2 children were now given him. Each child taken was under the age of 15 and was chosen by lot. Thus it happened that every house and every street and all the public squares echoed with the wailing of unhappy parents and the cries of the innocent who were soon to be offered. Now, it chanced that the king of the city had one daughter, an exceedingly fair girl, both in mind and body. And after many days of choosing of lots for the sacrifices, and after many uh, blooming girls and boys had met an unhappy death, the lot fell on his maiden, Cleodoliada. When her father, the king, heard his misfortune, in his despair, he offered all the gold in the state treasury and even half of his kingdom to redeem the maiden. But at this, many fathers and mothers who had lost their children murmured greatly and said, O king, art thou just? By thy edict thou hast made us desolate, and now, behold, that thou wouldest withhold thine own child. And thus the people speak, and speaking they waxed were worth greatly. And so, joined together, they marched, threatening, threatening to burn the king and his palace unless he delivered the maiden to fulfill her lot. And to such demands the king perforce submitted, and at last he asked only a delay of 8 days, which he might spend with the lovely girl, and bald her faith. And this the people granted. Now, at the end of the time agreed to, the fair victim was led forth. She fell at her father's feet, asking his blessings and protesting she was ready to die for her people. And then, amid tears and lamentations, she was led to the walls and put without. The gates were shut and barred against her. She walked towards the dwelling of the dragon, slowly and painfully, for the road was strewn with the bones of her playmates, and she wept as she went on her way. Now, it was this very fine morning that George, trading courageously seeking to help the weak and strong to serve the truth, was passing by in his nightly journey. Now he was stretched before him the noisome path, and moved to see so beautiful a maiden in tears. He checked his charger and asked her why she wept. The whole pitiful story she recounted, to which the valiant one answered, "Fear not, I will deliver you." "Oh, noble youth," cried the fair victim, "tarry not here, lest you perish with me. Fly, I beseech you." "Well, God forbid that I should flee," said George in answer. "I will lift my hand against this loathing thing, and I will deliver you through the power that lives in all true followers of Christ." And at that moment the dragon was seen coming forth from his lair, half flying and half crawling towards them. "Fly, I beseech you, brave knight, flee," cried the fair girl, trembling. "Leave me here to die." But George answered, "No, not rather." He put spurs to his horse, and he called upon his Lord, and he rushed towards the monster, and after a terrible and prolonged combat, pinned the mighty hulk to the earth with his lance. And then he called to the maiden to bring him her girdle. With this, he bound the dragon's fists, and gave the ends of the girdle into the hands, and the subdued monster crawled after them like a dog. Walking in this way, they approached the city. All the onlooking people were stricken with terror, but George called out to them, saying, "Fear nothing, only believe in Christ, though through whose help I have conquered this adversary, and live in accordance with his teachings, and I will destroy him before your eyes." So the king and the people believed, and such a life they endeavored to live. Then St. George slew the dragon and cut off his head, and the king gave great treasures to the knight. But all the reward George distributed among the sick and the neglectious, and kept nothing for himself. And then he went further on his way of helpfulness. At about that time, the emperor Diocletian issued an edict, which was published at the length and breadth of his empire. The edict was nailed to the door of the temple, upon the walls of public markets, and in all the places people frequented. And those who read it with terror, and hid their faces in despair. For if commanded, all Christians but St. George, when he saw the writing, was filled with indignation, and that spirit and courage which came to all of us from communion with the internal powers, and heartened and strengthened him. And he tore down the unhappy utterances and trampled it underfoot. Thus prepared for death, George approached the emperor. "What dost thou?" cried Diocletian angrily, having heard from his unknown caller. Answer. Answer. Well, dang it. Move. Hey, Siri, return call. Sorry, folks. I said dang it. Okay. Right. There. It was an uncalled anyway. I couldn't call it back. So okay, there we go. And King gave great treasures to the knights, but all towards George distributed everything to the sickness. Da, da, da. Thus prepared for death, George approached the emperor with what was oust. Tried dictation angrily, having heard from his processes, Duquesne, that this young man deserved torture. Liberty, sir, for the innocent Christians, answered the martyr, at the least liberty, and since their liberty can hurt no one. Young man, returned Declaration with threatening looks. Think of thine own liberty and thy future. Before George could make answer, the ill will of the tyrant waxed to an ardent hatred, and he summoned guards to take the martyr in possession. Once within the dungeon, the keepers threw him in the ground. And they threw him to the ground, and they put his feet in socks and placed a stone of great weight upon his chest. But even so, in the midst of torture, the blessed one ceased not giving thanks to God for the opportunity to bear witness to the Christ's teaching. And the next day they stretched the martyr on a wheel full of sharp spokes. But a voice from heaven came to comfort him and said, George, fear not. So it is with those whose wills oh, no. Fear not, it is with those who will witness to the truth, and there appeared to him an angel brighter than the sun, clothed in white robe, and who stretched out a hand to embrace and encourage him in his pain. And two of the officers of the prison who saw this beautiful vision became Christians, and from that day endeavored to live after the teachings of Christ. And there is still another tale that after George had been comforted by the angel who descended from heaven, his tormentors flung him into a cauldron of boiling lead. And when they believed they had subdued him by the force of his agonies, and they brought him to a temple to assist in their worship, and the people ran in crowds to behold his humiliation, and the priests mocked him. And the emperor, seeing the consistency of George, once more sought to move him by interrelitis, but the great soldier refused to be judged by words, only by deeds. He even demanded the to go to see the gods desolation himself worshipped, and the emperor, believing that at length George was coming to his right mind and was about to yield, orders the Roman Senate and people to assemble in order that all might be witness of George's acknowledgement of his own declaration of God, his own declaration of God. And when they were thus gathered together in the emperor's temple, and the eyes of all the people were fixed upon the weak and tortured saint to see what he would do, he drew near a statue of the sun god Apollo, and he stretched out his hand toward the image. He said slowly, wouldest thou that I should offer thee sacrifices as to a god? The demon who was in the statue made answer, I am not a god. There is but one God, and Christ is his greatest prophet. At that very hour were heard horribly wailing sounds coming from the mouths of the idols the world over, and the senate of the and the statues of the gods either all fell over or crumbled to dust. One account says that St. George knelt down and prayed and thundered, and lightning from heavens fell upon the idols and destroyed them. Angry at the breaking of their power, the priests of the gods cried to the emperor that he must rid himself of so potent a magician and cut off his head. The priests also indicated that, that the people lay hands on their martyr. So it was commanded that George the Christian knight should be beheaded, and he was dragged to the place of execution, and there, bending his neck to the sword of the executioner, and absorbed in prayer, he received bravely and thankfully the stroke of death in April 303. And so stands St. George ever before the youth of the world, one of the champions of Christians, and a model of courage, a brave interceder for the oppressed, and an example of pure, firm, and of enduring doing for others, a true soldier of Christ. And there you go. We're going to call that one our daily bread portion of the program. Also, because it was quite the Christian story, and I tell you what, I don't think we can get better than that. But we're going to go ahead and talk about the Bible with Briscoe 2024. Today's Bible with Briscoe reading in 2024 will be 2 Kings 22 through 23 and John 4 31 through 54. So here we go. That's the Bible with Briscoe 2024 reading of the Bible read within 1 year. Lies and truth. We're going to do it anyway. That'll just get into John, which is where we're at right now, and it'll get ahead of us. So we're going to just stick with that. All right, that's it. That's all. Sorry, you can't see me or whatever. I couldn't see you. Maybe you could see me, for all I know. All righty then. Well, we're going to try something else here. Goodbye, my friends. It's time to go. I said goodbye, my friends. It's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must go. So, goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. All right. Love you all. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.